Hey everyone, it's John with KGTropicals and KGTropicals.com. I'm really excited about today's topic because it's one that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time and I just haven't gotten to it, and that is African cichlid hybrids. Hybrids are a cause for a whole lot of debate on different forums and YouTube channels and blogs and all over the place. If you ever want to get a conversation going, bring up hybrids. It works. I've done it. I've seen forums kind of slow down a little bit and I've said, hey, why don't we talk about hybrids? And next thing you know, there's 75 posts in the first day on that particular topic. So a lot of people are talking about them, and a lot of people have a lot of very firm opinions about hybrids, and I'm no different. My opinion is very firm on it, and I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. But first, I think it probably makes sense. Probably got people watching this that don't really know what hybrids are. It's very simple. Hybrids are mutts. It's one strain of peacock spawning with another strain of peacock, or mbuna, or haps. It's a labradoodle, if you will. It's a combination of a couple of different fish. And what results is some of the most beautiful, unpredictable, and the most popular fish that you will ever see when it comes to African cichlids. So I want to break away for a second and show you some of my favorites, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you my opinion on it. All right, let's go take a look. All right, guys, so we're here at the 240. I've got close-up going on here, and I'm going to battle with the glare, but I'm highlighting these two guys right here. They're brothers. There's four of them that look identical. These are hybrids, folks. A lot of people, when they look at hybrids, they automatically assume that we're talking about blotches like this. OBs, orange blotch. And here's another brother here coming up. He wants to get some attention. All six of these fish, I can't point out all six on camera, but there's four that look just like that, and then two that look like him, the blotch. They're all brothers. They're all from the identical batch of fry. And the cool thing about those is that they are from the very first batch of fry that Lisa and I ever had. So needless to say, they've got a place in our heart unlike any other fish in this entire building. And we've had offers on them. We've had people come in and want to buy them. You could literally put a gun to our heads and we would not sell them, for obvious reasons. So when we're talking about hybrid peacocks, this is what we're talking about. That's a good example right there. Both of them in the screen at the same time. Sometimes they're blotches, where you get all different kinds of colors and things like that. Orange, blue, yellow, white. And sometimes they come out, we call them freaks. They look like other fish. That kind of looks like a sulfur head. A lot of people come in and say, is that a blue orchid? Nope, that's a hybrid. What do you think? Pretty nice, huh? I'm not exaggerating to you when I tell you that those six fish get talked about in this tank more than any other fish that we have in there. And we've got some downright cool fish in here. But those are the ones that people are after. They stand out from a mile away and people absolutely love them. So what is the overall general consensus of hybrids? It's very positive. Most people that are in this hobby, whether they be newcomers or the hardcore traditionalists, like them because they're pretty, they're nice. Who cares what they are? If it's a beautiful fish, I don't care what it's labeled as, I like it. So for the most part, people love these fish, and I will tell you, we get dozens of these fish delivered to us every week, and the OBs are always the first to go. If you've ordered the assorted peacocks from us, which a lot of you have, all of you, with the exception of maybe a couple because I ran out, all of you have gotten a hybrid or an OB included in your pack because everybody loves them, and I know everybody's gonna want them. And I haven't had anyone yet email me and say, John, you sent me an OB, I didn't want that. I haven't had anybody do that. So they are extraordinarily popular. And so for me as a retailer, we love them. They're always the first to go. I mean, you know, if they're going out the door, that means we're making money, so it's a good thing. So we love hybrids from the retailer standpoint. But my personal opinion about them, well, it's the same. I love them. I've loved hybrids since I got into African cichlids. The very first peacock I ever bought was an OB. And I bought it because it was beautiful. So I've loved hybrids way before any of this ever happened. So I'm a big fan. The customers are a big fan. Well, let's talk about some of the things I've heard said about them. Things that I've read about them. Because you get a lot of people on forums that I believe maybe shouldn't share their opinion sometimes. Because they say things that are just weird. Like, hybrids are not natural. I've read it. Hybrids are not natural. They're not natural. As if to say that in the wild, peacocks would never crossbreed. Come on. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm smart enough to be able to figure out that this is naturally going to happen in the wild. It doesn't matter because none of these fish have ever seen the wild, but still, in the wild, this absolutely would happen, this is why we have all these different strains anyway, is because of years and years and hundreds and millions of years of evolution of these fish. So, unnatural, that doesn't work. That's not a good argument. I've heard people say, hybrids are okay, but they have to be labeled as hybrids. Well, that doesn't make sense to me either. Because if you're somebody who's uneducated about African cichlids, then you're not going to care what that fish is called. You're going to look, like I did when I first bought my first peacock, you're going to look in the tank at the fish store, you're going to say, that's a pretty fish, I want it. Period. You're not going to say, that's a pretty fish, but, oh, it's a hybrid? Nah, I don't want it. I've never heard anybody say that. I've never seen anybody do that. If it's a pretty fish, they buy it. I've sold hybrids to people that have been in African cichlids for 30 years. And they see a nice looking hybrid and literally the words come out of their mouth. I don't care what that is. It's beautiful, I want it. So what a fish is labeled really, to me, has no bearing either. And plus, you have to remember, these fish all come from different places. Now, you may have a fish that you buy from me that I bred, so you know where that came from. But what I'm talking about is, we order fish from a lot of different people. This guy might call them one thing, any fish, one thing, and this guy might call them something else. So you may see fish labeled as different things in different pet stores. And that's just because that's what they're sold to them as. So, as long as they're labeled properly, to me, it doesn't make sense either. I label them as hybrids, so I'm not arguing with you. But to me, it really doesn't matter. 99% of the people that walk in here, they buy a fish because they like the way it looks. They don't care what it is. I can't tell you how many people have bought dozens of fish from us at one time. And when I start writing the names on the bags of what those fish are, they're like, you don't need to do that. I don't care. So I really don't agree with the argument that they need to be labeled a certain way either. Now, let's get to the big one. Let's get to the big one that drives me insane. And that is the people who say, all right, let's give a scenario. Somebody goes on a forum and says, I've got a crossbreed. My peacock spawned and I don't know who spawned with who and I'm probably going to get hybrids. What do I do? If you look around at different forums and you find threads like that, you're going to see somebody in every single one of those threads that says, you should cull them. You should kill them. This is what these people say. Okay? That dramatic pause was there for a reason, to give you an opportunity to think about the absurdity of what some of these people will say. These little lives are unworthy of being alive. You should kill them. And they like to use the word cull because it somehow makes them feel like they're performing a procedure and not killing fish. Now, I'm not a card-carrying PETA member, but I am an animal person, okay? And I do take that very seriously. You wouldn't know it to look at me. I am a vegetarian, and I am a vegetarian for animal reasons, for my love of animals. I make a living selling animals. We have a lot of animals, so, you know, to me, it is a big hit to the heart when somebody says, you should just kill those fish. I don't agree with it. I think it's absurd. And I think anybody who suggests that, how else do I say it? You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you believe that a cute little fry should be killed just because it's a hybrid. Now, don't give me this crap of, well, we do it in a humane way. We use the put them in a bowl and put them in the freezer method. That's the most humane way of killing our fish. I don't buy it. I don't get it. Now, I understand my opinion is a little bit extreme, and you don't have to agree with me. But if you don't like hybrids, fine. There's fish I don't like. I'm not going to buy them. That's an easy solution. If you don't like hybrids, fine. If you're one of those people that believes that it has to be an absolutely pure strain, well, first of all, I wouldn't even know what fish to tell you to buy because there is no 100% pure strain. They're all hybridized from something. Come on, let's be realistic. But if you're somebody that believes it has to be F1 and it has to be from this and fine, there's nothing wrong with you. But if you're someone who has an accidental spawning in your tank and the result is hybrid fry and you kill them, I'm sorry to say it this way, but there is something wrong with you. And perhaps, I'm not going to go any farther, but something's wrong with you if you can kill these fish. Now, Lisa and I are very adamant about this, and we do take it to extremes. Sometimes we have fish in our store that are literally like flopping around. We know there's no chance that they're ever going to survive, and we still don't kill them. We wait for them to die, and then we flush them, or then we dispose of them whatever way we do. And so we are softies, and you know, so our opinion about this is pretty extreme, and I know that, but it's just the way we are. You take it or leave it. And if you don't like hybrids, I respect that. That's fine. You don't have to like everything that I like, but if you have hybrids and you kill them, zippy respect you'll get from me. So you can be a whiz when it comes to these fish, but you're never going to get me to understand how it makes sense to cull these fish when they're hybrids. And I can promise you this, you won't find any reputable breeder out there that is a hatchery, a professional hatchery. You won't find one that has a mix-up in their fish for some reason. I've done it. I've made the mistake. Where you a breeder accidentally mixes a couple of batches of fry, and instead of culling all of the fish, they just say, well, we'll make a hybrid colony out of it. We've done that, and we have had some of the most gorgeous fish you've ever seen come as a result. And every breeder is going to be that same way. I'm not talking about some guy with 40 tanks breeding fish in his mom's basement. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the guy who's making a living from these fish. You're not going to find anybody that's going to kill them because they're hybrids. So, at least I've never met one. There's probably going to be somebody that's going to say, what about this guy? Whatever. I've never met one, and I've talked to a lot of big name breeders. So, that's my opinion on hybrids. I've probably offended some people, but hey, get over it, whatever. We all have different opinions, right? I just happen to be kind of vocal about mine. So, comment down below. If you disagree with me, if you think I'm an idiot, that's fine, let's talk about it. I'd like to get some discussion going on this. Comment as much as you want, let me know what you think. If you're offended by being called an idiot, again, you'll get over it, it's no big deal. So, hey, if you like the video, if you like what I've been doing here, subscribe for us, would you? Follow us on Twitter at KGTropicals. We've been getting a lot more involved with that. Lisa has recently started up an Instagram at KGTropicals. I think it's KG_Tropicals. I'm not 100% sure. You can find her on there. There's been a lot of people responding to her on there thinking that it's me, and it's not. It's Lisa that's been doing all of that. We're on Facebook at /KGTropicals, and then of course our website, which we're doing a lot of work on the website. We found somebody that's doing some amazing things to our website for us. It's www.KGTropicals.com. Check it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.